The invitation said, "One night only, private performance, $10,000 cash." All I had to do was sing. I should have walked away the moment I saw the mansion, because by the end of the night, I realized I hadn't been invited to perform, would been summoned. I'm Armin, a singer, mostly local gigs around upstate New York. One Thursday evening, I got a strange email from an anonymous sender. No signature, no logo, just a request. Private party, 10 p.m. till sunrise, cash only. Car will pick you up. It looked shady, but 10 grand for one night? That's more than I make in a month. I said yes. A black SUV arrived at 8:30 p.m. sharp. No driver name, no plates. The windows were tinted pitch black. The moment I stepped inside, my phone lost signal, and the driver didn't speak a single word. We drove for nearly 2 hours, through woods, down winding dirt roads until we reached it. A massive Gothic mansion, standing in the middle of nowhere. No neighboring homes, no street lights, just fog and silence. The mansion looked old, like something left behind by time. I remember thinking, what kind of rich freak throws a party out here? I had no idea how deep I was walking into something. Not human. Inside, the place was full of people, but they were off. Everyone was too elegant, too still. The women wore long gowns, like something from the 1800s. The men wore tailored suits, not a single wrinkle, not a single hair out of place, and every one of them was watching me, smiling, but not blinking. A man with silver eyes approached me. He introduced himself as Mr. Bellamy, the host. "We've been waiting for someone like you, Armin," he said. Someone with a soulful voice. He led me to a grand hall with vaulted ceilings and chandeliers. A vintage mic stood at the center of the stage. "Start at 10. Don't stop until sunrise," he said. "No matter what happens, keep singing." He smiled wide. His teeth were just a little too sharp. At exactly 10 p.m., I stepped on stage. The room fell completely silent, and I sang. One song, then another. The crowd didn't clap, didn't move, just stood in silence, eyes locked, faces blank. But the longer I sang, the more they started to change. Their faces stretched, skin pulled tight, eyes glowing faintly gold, and their smiles never faded. Around 2 a.m., my throat was raw. I stopped for a moment to sip water. The music stopped, and the room reacted. Dozens of heads snapped toward me at once, eyes wide, fangs visible. Then Mr. Bellamy's voice echoed through the room. "Keep singing, Armin. They grow hungry when the music stops." I sang again, shaking, sweating, voice cracking. They watched, hummed, rocked slowly, in perfect unison. They weren't enjoying the music. They were feeding off it. I sang until sunrise, and when the first light touched the windows, they vanished, one by one, dissolving like smoke. Mr. Bellamy walked up, handed me an envelope of cash, and smiled. "You survived. Not many do. We'll be in touch." I didn't reply. I took the money, got in the SUV, and prayed I'd never see any of them again. But I did. The next night, I was leaving a local show when I saw them, 3 of the mansion guests, waiting by my car. Same clothes, same smiles. "Another performance tonight," one of them said. "We missed your voice." I told them no. I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about anything except staying away from whatever they were. Their smiles faded. Their eyes went cold, and the tallest one leaned close and whispered, "You were chosen. You can't say no to them." Since that night, they've been following me, in the corner of crowded bars, in reflections that don't quite match my movements. Sometimes I wake up gasping, music playing from a speaker I never turned on. Last week, a woman in a red dress appeared outside my window at 3 a.m. No footsteps, no shadow, just standing there, and mouthing the words, "Sing or bleed." I haven't performed since, but the silence is growing louder. I know they're close. They don't need an invitation. They don't care about consent. And now, they don't just want my music. They want my soul. For weeks, I avoided singing. No performances, no humming, not even in the shower. But they kept coming, watching, waiting. The woman in the red dress appeared every night outside my window, each time closer, until one night, she was inside. I didn't hear the door. I didn't hear her footsteps. She was just there, standing in my bedroom, smiling with blood-red lips. She whispered, "You belong to the song now." And then she vanished, leaving a single note on my desk. "One final show, midnight. If you refuse, the silence will kill you." I was done running. I decided I would go back, but not to perform. I would go back to end it. I packed everything: salt, a cross, sage, even an old mirror someone on Reddit said traps spirits. The black SUV came at 11:30 p.m. This time, it spoke. The driver turned and said in a hollow voice, "No one leaves after the encore." The mansion was darker this time, silent, waiting. As I stepped into the grand hall, the crowd was already assembled. Dozens of them, faces pale, teeth sharp, eyes glowing, like a theater of the dead. And at the center, the same microphone. Mr. Bellamy appeared from the shadows. "Tonight, you finish the performance, the song of surrender. Your soul will echo in this house forever." I stood at the mic. My hands trembled, but instead of singing, I pulled the mirror from my bag and held it up. The moment they saw their reflections, the room screamed, their faces twisted. Smoke rose from their skin. They weren't just monsters. They were fragments, pieces of souls trapped in eternal hunger. The mirror began to crack, but I held it steady. And then I spoke. "You want a final performance? Fine. Here's my last note." I took a deep breath, and I screamed, a raw, broken, primal scream. Years of fear and anger unleashed in one final sound. The chandelier shattered, the walls cracked, and one by one, they began to burn. Not with fire, with light. Mr. Bellamy fell to his knees. "You were ours," he whispered. "You were perfect." I stepped down from the stage and whispered back, "Find a new singer." And with that, the mirror exploded. The mansion began to collapse. I ran through the smoke, through the woods, never once looking back. I woke up in my apartment 3 days later. No one knew how I got back. The SUV was never seen again. The mansion? Gone. No trace it ever existed. But the music still follows me. Some nights I hear a note drifting through the vents. Soft, tempting, and sometimes, just sometimes, I still feel the mic in my hand, but now I know the truth. They weren't feeding on my voice. They were feeding on me. So if someone ever asks you to sing in the middle of nowhere, don't. Because when the music stops, that's when they eat it.